Welcome to Get Wed,
a podcast to plan your wedding by.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Kerry.
And we're both here as professional photographers
and brides-to-be to help you plan your big day.
Each week we'll discuss a topic that you'll encounter along your wedding planning journey.
And with the help of fellow industry experts, we'll navigate this crazy wedding world
together. Hey everyone!
Hi everybody! This week we are joined by a videographer, which is something that our listeners have been asking for quite a while. Obviously we haven't got much experience in it, so hopefully Andrew here is going to shed some light on why having a videographer at your wedding is a good thing. So do you just want to give our listeners a bit of an idea of who you are and what you do, Andrew?
Well, those listeners asking for a videographer, that was me in different usernames. You got to get Andrew on, he's great.
Yeah. It did seem to be your name coming up a lot.
And it was all spelt right as well.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Videographer, got a business with my wife. We've been seriously doing wedding videography for about 2 or 3 years, just really concentrate on it. She's tidying the house at the moment. We've had a bit of a chaotic morning. We've got a toddler, so he sends her apologies, but
you should get him on. You should wave him above the screen for us.
So he thinks my laptop's a toy still, and so if I get him anywhere near it, he'll just smash all the buttons. Try and edit like his dad does, but so what was the question again? Andrew Tregoning Weddings, we called it imaginatively. And we just specialize in highlight style wedding videos, so they tend to be about 6 to 8, 9 minutes long. And we don't really use much audio from the day. It's just purely almost like a music video, just like highlights from the day, soundtracked by music. Been going about 3 years. I've been doing videography my whole career. So I went to university, did film studies, and then during my degree I started freelancing doing videography, and I've been doing it ever since. So 12, coming to 13 years, been doing videography for.
Wow.
Freelance the whole time.
Really? That's quite an achievement. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So what was it that made you go for weddings? Were you about to say that, Katie?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What made me go for weddings? I just love weddings. So as a freelance creative professional, you just end up doing everything. So I was doing web design, book design, photography. I was just doing a bit of everything. And then a few years ago, I started to naturally kind of specialize in being able to just do video projects. And then I was doing music videos, corporate stuff, and a bit of weddings. And then, as I say, about 3 years ago, I decided to just try and specialize as much as I can. Yeah. I'm 32 now, so it's let's stop just running around the country doing anything. And just weddings. I love weddings. I love going to weddings. I love wedding videos. I just love everything about them. I hate music videos. I hate bands, I hate artists, singers. I hate them.
Why? Have you had some bad experiences or something?
Yeah.
Just a few.
Well, I mainly did that for about 10 years. So, and it was always low budget stuff. And sort of, it's the same with a lot of creative industries, that when you're not charging much, so you've got a band, and they don't have much money. So all you can do is shoot them for one day in a warehouse somewhere that their uncle owns or something like that. You're going to have a rubbish product, and also the client is going to be the worst. I listen to a podcast, and the guy always says there's no bad clients, there's only bad professionals. So it's basically what he's saying is you pick your clients, and if you're only charging a small amount, you're going to attract clients that are annoying, that don't know what they want. It's just some sort of weird natural law. I don't know if it's the same with photography. Once you you put your price to a certain level, you find that your clients are a lot more, I don't know, easy to work with.
Yeah, they appreciate things a bit more, probably.
Appreciate things a bit more.
Yeah.
Know what? Yeah. So with music videos, a lot of the time it's just people that have got 9 to 5 jobs, and in the evenings they're like in a band, and especially with bands, trying to get them all together, arrange them all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare. But I probably did maybe 200-300 music videos, which was amazing practice. And it's kind of, without thinking about it, like really informed the style of the wedding videos we do. So obviously in a wedding video, it's all, you only get one chance. It's all go all day. So that the sort of 10 years of doing music videos where I'm running around, like getting to, like, I'm the producer, I'm the location scout, I'm like running around and like organizing people and all that was practice. Getting paid £100 a day, doing 2 days work on a video was all sort of, without me knowing, practice to kind of get into have the right sort of skill sets and patience and all that sort of stuff that you have to have on a wedding day. Because as I say, one chance at it, and you've got to manage people. You meet all types of different people on the day, and you've got to be super like on the level with everyone. Artists are like uber emotional people. They're like, so practicing with like trying to manage them and keep them happy and keep the vibe right is just waffling now, but hard work. So I'm really glad I'm doing wedding videos now. I love, as I said, I love weddings. I love the day. I love making a great wedding video because it's the sort of the feedback you get. Same with photography is unbelievable. Like, I'll do corporate videos during the week, and they're like, "Oh, it's a great video, thanks," which is awesome. That's probably better than what a lot of people do get from, like, if you look in call centers or anything like that, like a normal job. You won't even get that level of kind of thanks. But then when I do the wedding videos, when I get the emails back from the bride, it's just like,
really gushy.
Yes.
That's so true. So when I'm always amazed with videographers, because obviously they're all day long, you must get hours and hours and hours of footage, and like you say, you kind of make it into like a music video, so it's like a few minutes long. I imagine the length of a couple of songs maybe. How do you get all that footage down into just that short amount of time without feeling like you're missing chunks of the day?
Right. So I only film, because I've been doing it for such a long time, I only film, I'll keep saying this, but it's probably like you guys, same experiences you've had. I kind of know what I want, and so I don't actually film that much. I'll follow the bride and groom around all day and only film the stuff that I know pretty much that I know I'm going to use. So it only takes me about a day to edit the footage. And then drafting takes like another day. But I don't actually have that much footage at the end of the day. I only have about probably about 30-40 gig on my card. It's probably about 45 minutes worth, something like that.
Oh, that's not too bad. I just imagine you end up with hours and hours.
Yeah, I do. And you just have to sit there, and it's like Titanic, like 4 or 5 hours of like watching that over again.
When I first started, for sure, it was like that. But you kind of get a sense of what you need to film, what the bride's going to want to see, what you need to create the kind of end product that you want to create. After doing it like loads of times, you realise what stuff you need to film and what you don't need to film, basically.
Yeah, I think that's the same with photography, actually, isn't it? Like, now that we're like 6 years into it, I find that I know what moments I need to capture, and then sometimes I'll be taking pictures thinking, I'm not going to use this, why am I taking it? Because it's completely irrelevant. It makes your job easier on the other end when you're only shooting the important things rather than shooting everything for the sake of it, doesn't it? So
or like when you get looked at by the dad and he's like,
I should be doing something.
I know that's so hard, isn't it, when you've got to like be busy, but sometimes like there's no need to be, because you know, don't you, if it's worth it or not, and that is hard when you're like, okay, I'm gonna pretend.
Just pretending.
Make the noise.
So can you talk us through why you think it's so important to have a video for your wedding?
Oh yeah, this is where I've got to sell it, isn't it? To
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm very much on the fence, and Katie regrets not having one because she nearly had one and didn't.
you. Right.
Very
Yeah,
silly.
my wife and I have been married for 3 and a bit years, and we had photos done. And I hope they don't listen to this, but they were rubbish. They were friends, and it was bad. There was a transit van in the back of all of our group shots, and they put these horrible filters on it. It was not good.
Dear.
But my wife was really angry about it. But what saved the day was our friends, Anna, who's a really amazing creative person, put together like a highlight video for free. Mm-hmm. She just followed us around with a DSLR and filmed us all day, and then just sent us like a 4-minute long highlight video of the day, and it was unbelievable. And that kind of saved the whole thing. So
yeah,
basically Hannah was really disappointed with the photos, but then we had this amazing highlight video of the day. And it's not really, I don't think I'd seen one before. Mm-hmm. Or maybe I had, but I don't, sort of subconsciously, I think that inspired me to be like, these things are amazing. I want to make these highlight videos. I think they're so cool. Such a cool way of watching a wedding back, because I think traditionally, we might talk about this later, but the way wedding videos are kind of changing is kind of the same as everything else is changing. They're getting quicker. The editing's getting faster. That's it really. They're getting much faster nowadays. And we only specialize in the highlight video, whereas in the past you would do say a 2-hour long documentary film, and you do a highlight like trailer edit of that, mm-hmm. I believe. And so yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah, so when our experience was the highlight video saved our wedding basically. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
kind of inspired you to. Yeah, so that's why you believe wedding videos are really important, because you kind of had like not a backup, but because
they're really important. Like I don't think they'll ever be the same amount of importance as photos, but I think their importance will get more and more. We'll see them more and more brides choose them over the next few years. I think it will become more of a staple. It's kind of an add-on still at the moment. I think in the US it's more of a integral part of like the whole planning process. So you got your photographer, your florist, your videographer. But I think in the UK it's like an add-on. Yeah, but I think that's really changing. As I say, I haven't been in the industry that long, but it seems to be changing. Like people are more likely to hire a videographer. I think maybe the fact that it's a lot cheaper now. It used to be because of like technology is a lot cheaper and more people have access to cameras and stuff like that. So you do see more wedding videographers out there. Mm-hmm. But why have a wedding video? If I got married again, I would definitely hire a wedding videographer. I'd go and hire Philip White to video my wedding. That's what I do. Or maybe Emissary Films from the US, but then I'd have to fly them in. It's a great way of capturing your day, and it's a way that all your friends and family can watch on Facebook, especially a highlight video. I mean, you're not going to watch one of the long videos, to be fair. I don't think even bride and groom watch the long ones. But you can put it on Facebook, and everyone can be at your wedding that couldn't make it. And
it's a nice way of capturing things with prosperity as well, isn't it? It's like, I know so often I sometimes get couples come back to me where sadly some relatives have passed away, like a few years after their wedding or whatever, and they are really appreciative of the fact that we took photos on their wedding day. And so to see movement of people that have passed away, that you've lost, to see them as they were, that kind of thing, I think is really important, isn't it? So.
That's really important. That's a good point.
Yeah. And I think videography is just coming along so much, isn't it? Because photography is doing the same, but I think videography is really evolving. When you think about 10 years ago and how cheesy and naff it used to be.
I think that's the thing people still think about, isn't it? They still imagine that a videographer is the guy with that massive camera on his shoulder and like the tripods and all the microphones.
And like skinny cutaways and like awful, and it's just...
Shall I show you my setup?
Go on then.
Yeah.
This is only going to work if you're watching on YouTube, guys. Yes. Oh, look at that tiny little camera.
On a wedding day, this is me walking around. That's it.
So he's holding like a really small camera for everybody who can't.
Google Sony A7S II.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? So you can be so much more discreet now as well. That's the thing. You haven't got
Really
like
sneaky.
yeah, all the gear. So yeah, no, it's so much better now, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose you just end up like, probably I get the compliment quite often that I just look like a friend with a fancy camera, and I suppose that's the sort of thing for you. If you're just showing up with a small camera like that, you're not looking, obtrusive with like all your gear and stuff showing up. You just look like a guest with a camera
Very
as
minimal.
well. So
Yeah,
but like a slightly weird friend with a fancy camera. That's what I get.
And how do you deal with the comments? Like you mentioned about how you had a friend photograph your wedding. You must get quite a few comments, or I don't know if you kind of get this, where people decide they don't want to book a videographer because they'll have a friend do it, or that they've got like some sort of camcorder and they're like, oh, they'll film it for us. How do you make sure you differentiate from that and attract people, make people see the importance of a video? I guess professional video.
I don't know. I just say, like, I don't care if you hire us. I just want you to have a video. Like he will do a terrible job, and he will deliver it in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Like you pay in life, it's the same as anything. You just pay for what you get. So, to a certain extent, you do your research. But if you want a great video, you're gonna have to pay decent whack for it. It's like anything. You can't expect it.
Yeah, something
it's kind of like like it happens a lot in the creative industries. You expect a creative person, just because it's their art and they enjoy what they do, to do it for nothing. For some reason, I don't know why, but maybe that's an aspect of it. But by all means, let your uncle film it, but please hire a videographer as well. Any videographer, because you will regret it if you don't.
Yeah, it's very much the same as like photography. When you hear a friend's going to photograph it, and I think that's great and everything, but they're not going to enjoy the wedding day. They're going to be stressed.
Right.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure they're just going to give up halfway through and be like, I just want to get drunk.
Yeah.
And it's going to put a strain on the relationship that you don't want, you don't need. Just save up a bit or get a credit card and get a decent photographer. Because that kind of thing, like, can put a dent in the relationship, that sort of thing. Where are those photos? Oh, they're coming. Well, and then you don't
I've
see
heard
them
that
less and less. And
yeah.
I don't know. As I say, I don't care if you hire us. Like, we're quite booked up. We're all right.
We're too busy anyway.
You probably regret. Yeah. Well, I suppose it depends on the person. Like, obviously, I'm really into video, and I love films and I love TV. And so that's going to be reflected in what I want at my wedding. I want it to be filmed really well. But then I know, like, I'm the anomaly, so normal people aren't going to be that into having a video. They might just be happy with the photos or like the Instagram hashtag some bobs. I would say that, like, I told a couple that pulled out the last minute. I said get people to film it, and then if they put it on Instagram, just like make up a hashtag. So then on your honeymoon, you can go and you can just look at that hashtag and go through all the videos and pictures, and that's kind of a similar kind of deal as well, because they found they didn't have the budget last minute to do it. They also said, can we have a deposit back?
Oh, no.
No.
How do you feel about those funny, I've seen it a couple of times, like film it yourself?
I had a wedding with that recently. Shoot it yourself is the company, isn't it?
What's that?
How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a bit naff and wrong?
Tell me what it is.
Basically, they it's a company called Shoot It Yourself, and they send out video cameras, and then what they do is they nominate. You can nominate certain people throughout the day to take over the filming. So at the wedding I had, one camera was given to the bridesmaids and one camera was given to the groomsmen, and then they all had so many hours of filming to do throughout the day. And they all loved it. Like, they seemed to really enjoy it. And then in the evening, it was just funny because you could see them, like, swaying. And it was drunk. But, how do you feel about that side of it? And then the company, they send the cameras back and the company edit the video together for them?
Edit it. That sounds like a lot of work for them,
Yeah.
Wouldn't do that.
No. I've not seen the video.
That sounds like really good fun. That's a great idea.
Do you think that was good? Because I would find that quite offensive. I think that's like really... that's a really bad idea.
If they put like disposable cameras on each table.
Yeah, well, you do though, don't you? Get those annoying. You get those. Yeah, those silly little messages saying capture one of this, capture one of that, and I think, oh.
That sounds like fun, but like I would never ever do that because that sounds like the editing's boring as it is. Like sitting through hours of professional footage. No, thank you.
Yeah, I suppose that's a difference in that, like what we were saying earlier, you know what you need to photograph, video, sorry, and the important parts of the data you need to capture. Whereas the people who are making these videos, they've obviously got no experience in it, so they're just recording everything and anything. They must end up with hours and hours of footage to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, videoing is a lot harder than, I know I would say this, but it is a lot harder than people think. And then editing is like a dark art as well. That's unbelievably hard. And then editing to music's really hard as well.
Yeah.
Like there's an infinite, like filming this mug, there's an infinite way of filming me picking it up and putting and drinking. There's literally, I think literally like where the camera is, props, where the camera is, like you can there's an infinite way of positioning the camera to capture the mug coming to my mouth to drink the coffee out of, and then you put that on a flat 2D screen in front of someone, and they have to be able to see it and have the context of the space around it and understand what's going on. There's an infinite way of doing that. To walk into a room, to see this action happening, and to know exactly where to stand, to film it so that it makes sense and it also looks beautiful, because you can't just document stuff on a wedding video. It has to also look beautiful. So you've got to know exactly where to stand, with the knowledge that there is an infinite number of places to put your camera. And then you've got to make it look beautiful, which is really hard for stuff like mundane stuff like that. And then also you've got to understand your camera. So there's so many settings on the camera to get the light, to get the color of the light and all that sort of stuff. It's really hard to do. So again, I hope that company charges a lot of money to edit all of that stuff.
I suppose that's the difference, isn't it? In that they're getting a very substandard video in that it's just their friends filming stuff, probably, you know, without any kind of creative shots as such. They're just kind of documenting it as it's happening. Whereas if you're going for a professional videographer, like you were saying, you're looking for the more creative angle and the more artistic way to film something. So that's the difference in going those two routes, isn't it?
Yeah, but it sounds like fun for the guests, definitely. Sounds like a lot of fun for them to do. But I wouldn't, if I was going to do that, I'd also get a professional to go to capture it properly as well.
Yeah. Back up.
If I had the budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which leads us nicely on to.
Yes, I was just going to say, beautiful little.
Nice little transition. So can you talk us through what a couple should expect to spend on a decent professional wedding videographer?
I don't have too much of a frame of reference of this. I kind of have been concentrating on the video like for 2 to 3 years, like making the video amazing. I haven't really done any market research whatsoever. So I've kind of I put in like how much we charge, like really low, and I've been slowly putting it up as I've been getting more and more confident with the product. Hope to next year at some point actually double that. But if you have a look at like a good wedding videographer, it's usually around £1,500. It's usually around that kind of mark. Really good guys are going to be quite a bit more than that. Kind of average, like okay guys are going to be a bit under £1,000. Yeah, I would spend at least £1,500 on a wedding video. I think you'd get a good video for that.
So you're looking to spend around the same as what you would spend on your photographer?
Yeah, that's right.
Videography.
Yeah. So like, if maybe I could break that down a bit. You've got your equipment, which you've got to buy and maintain, and then so like my camera's just the body is £2,900 for the body. And then all the lenses and stuff, and then it's the years of experience and mistakes, which is like worth a lot of money. If you were to like charge all the like if you were to charge an hourly rate for all the experience you had, like if you were kind of to put a value on that, it would be a lot more than $1.5 grand. There's so much that goes like into it. There's not many overheads though, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's just time, isn't it?
Time, yeah.
Time, yeah. So it's like putting a value on your time. But I find that a good way of like working out the value of your work is like how long you put into it in terms of training and experience and mistakes.
Yeah.
So I put over 10 years into that, and so our videos aren't. They need to be a lot more expensive, basically. But I'm still kind of like building the business up, and still like I've got that whole perfectionist thing of like I'm rubbish. Everything's rubbish.
I think that's a creative thing. Everyone has that.
Yeah, so I'd say about $1.5 grand, you'd get a decent video for that. It is quite tricky finding a videographer. I think for kind of the little research that I've done, because I've been trying to kind of connect with a lot of wedding videographers, like going out for coffee with people and trying to find people that like better than me and hook up with them, and it's quite tricky. It doesn't seem like there are many out there that are doing kind of a similar contemporary style to me. I'm sure there are tons out there, but it is. I wouldn't know really where to start as a bride, apart from referrals like word of mouth. Like my friends had a really good wedding video. I'll just get the same one. I wouldn't know where to start. Like maybe it's just straight to Google, which is going to take a long time to sift through all the websites and try and figure out if they're for real and that kind of stuff.
Do you like always meet with couples before they book you, or have a chat with them and do that kind of thing, or is it more, do they just find your work and say, "Yep, done," and book you?
Yeah, as I say, we don't really do any marketing. We haven't started yet, figuring all that stuff out. So it's all been referrals, and so they kind of know that we're real people, and they know they've talked to the brides that have had us before, and they've sort of said that they're fine to work with, and
know what you're about, and
so they've never requested a meetup. I do freelance stuff for another wedding video company, and they always have it's a lot more sort of systematized company. So you meet up with the client then, and then you do that. So I've met up with clients then, and it's always really good fun. But I don't need to, because my process is like pretty nailed down in terms of like have a phone call with them, make sure that that we have a chat through everything. But it's such a simple process that it's always quite an awkward phone call, because I'm like, any other questions? And they're like, no. Okay. And then I send through a questionnaire, which is like a private link, and that's like a Google form. So they enter in like 10 bits of information, and then that comes through to me as a PDF, as a shoot doc for the day. So it's all really pretty straightforward. As I say, they've all been referrals pretty much, so they know that they know of us, and they know that their friends.
Oh, it's frozen.
Oh, did you?
Oh no. Oh. Let's just hold on, see if he comes back for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
hello?
are.
Sorry, say that last bit again.
I don't know.
So referrals and all that kind of.
They know that they're coming from friends. So.
We haven't needed to meet up because they've already been aware of our work, which is it's really something I really develop, is becoming known to be like a really, like, what I want to do is create amazing highlight wedding videos, and that will become known as amazing, and so we won't have to kind of sell ourselves. Because that's just, I don't know, it's a bit awkward, and I don't know, it can be a bit, I don't know, I'm not very good at that.
I think that's the same with lots of photographers, and again, the like creative industry thing, isn't it? That you enjoy doing what you do, but it's at the end of the day, you have to kind of sell your work and put yourself out there, and that's the bit that all of us hate to do, because it's like, oh, you can kind of pay me to do this, that would be nice, thank you. It's
and
hard, isn't it?
if you reach a point in yourself where you can say, my art is really good, then you just sound like an idiot,
Yeah.
especially in England. It's like,
That's the thing, is it, with being British, yeah.
you just sound like an arrogant, like,
Yeah.
you know, so-and-so. So, yeah. But, yeah, so what I want to do is become known for doing amazing videos, or a really specific, better way of saying it is a really specific style of video. So then if a bride really wants that specific style of video, then she'll know, oh, Tregoning Wayne's do it.
Yeah.
And so they'll come to us and say, oh, can you do it? And we'll go, and yeah, maybe. No. So yeah, that's kind of my marketing strategy. I just did air quotes. For now.
And what this
is any
way...
of this useful? Like,
yeah, I think so.
Someone listening to this podcast,
I think it is useful.
Is any of this useful?
Because like I said to you earlier, like, I'm quite on the fence about having a videographer, and I think the thing that's not putting me off of having one, like, I understand the importance of it and stuff, but when I photograph weddings, quite often, because I work with an assistant photographer, there's 2 of us already, and then you'll turn up and there'll be videographers, and there'll be 2 of them. It sometimes feels like a bit of a big entourage. And then I sometimes worry that the couple are feeling like their day turns into more of a photo shoot than just enjoying their wedding.
Yeah.
So I think that's the one thing that's kind of and holding me back. And also Russell doesn't seem too keen on a video. But yeah, what do you... I'm going to kind of lead this into 2 questions. So what would you say about that? And also, how would you look for a good videographer? Like, what should people be looking for in that sense?
The first one, I wouldn't want 5 people following me around on the wedding day. Although I probably wouldn't notice them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on you. Are you the kind of person that I don't want to say if you're going to get self-conscious and it's going to ruin your day by having a couple of photographers and a couple of videographers there, then what? Yeah, don't bother with that then. I mean, I do a lot of weddings on my own, and I basically work off the photographer.
Yeah.
So I almost look like a camera assistant because, especially during the photos and the group shots and stuff, I'm just off his shoulder or her shoulder. So there's no extra kind of footprint. Like, I'm not, and I don't direct couples ever. So I don't say, can I take you aside for 15 minutes? And although I probably should do at some point, I'll start doing this. But there's no like footprint. Like, I'm never in the way of anything because I'm always with the photographer just behind them.
Yeah.
Very sneaky with my little camera. Yeah, and it just depends on the bride. Like, if you're going to be self-conscious, you've got enough people looking at you anyway on the day. So it's like, do I need an extra people? And they've got cameras and they're going to be saved forever.
Yeah.
So that's going to make you even a little bit uncomfortable. Then don't bother with it. But as I say, like, the way we work is like, Hannah, my wife, is amazing. She really knows brides. Like, she gets it. Like, I get like cameras and like filming things, but Hannah's amazing with the bride. Like, loads of weddings, she's put her camera down, and like, because a lot of the time bridesmaids are useless.
Yeah.
So so she's put. I'm sure you've done the same thing. Put a camera down and like, oh no, you need to do this, and you remembered that, and so
the amount of time I tie dresses up and put shoes on.
Yeah. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Don't you need to take the rings and stuff like that? Yeah. So having Hannah there is usually like better for the bride than not having. But it completely depends on the bride. If you're not comfortable with that, then don't bother. Just because at the end of the day, it's not about your family. It's not about anything else but you two getting married and coming together, making that decision together to be with each other the rest of your life. It's all about you. The preparation, it always ends up being about other people, and you get to the day and it's kind of like, and then the day after you're like, I wish we hadn't have compromised so much, and that happens a lot of the time. So if you don't feel comfortable, then don't bother.
I think it's good when it's that sort of approach to videography, because I think so often when I've worked with videographers that I haven't gelled with as well, that's when they've kind of needed more time from the couple and stuff, and so we end up both clashing on the fact that we both need that sort of time. But you know, if you find a videographer that's going to work with you, and like you say with your approach where you're not directing and stuff, you're just kind of following around and capturing stuff as it happens. That's a bit
Yeah,
more...
I don't need to. If I'm working with a good photographer, they direct, and I don't need to. I'd say to that videographer, just get good, get better. Just don't be rubbish. Just be better.
Because I must admit, we didn't have a videographer, and I actually really regret that. And it was more my husband who really wasn't keen, because he said it would be too much. And again, I think people have this really like strange impression of what videography is now, and they don't really get how different it is with the small cameras. And he kind of thought, recording speeches and stuff was just too much pressure, and so I think it's really hard actually to kind of put across how different it is now, and to invest in it, because I think there's nothing wrong with having just more to look at and more to look back on, and and it's funny, isn't it? But I sort of had to respect the fact that he didn't want that, really. But it is hard as a couple to try and decide, and I don't really know what point I was trying to make. But,
arguing about stupid videographer. It is like completely up to him. If he just didn't want that extra hassle, then awesome. If he had a better day because of it, then great. But I suppose it has changed. I mean, as I say, I have been doing them for quite a few years, but maybe once or twice a year up until 3 years ago. So I wasn't really that involved in. But I started off using tape cameras, so big broadcast Canon XL1s they were, and they record everything onto tape, and they're big and they're clunky, and they corrupt tape sometimes and wipe weddings.
Oh no!
And so that is what people know, and the technology has changed so fast that, like, why should a groom be up to date on all the latest videography improvements? Like it's up to us to try and get out there and do a lot of weddings and kind of show people that we don't have as big a footprint as we used to do, and we've got tiny little cameras now, and so it's not to the groom to get it. It's up to videographers to do a better job, and to show that we can do it. We can be little ninjas, and we don't get in the way anymore. Well, hopefully.
I have this great image of you being a ninja. Sorry, I have this great image of him like all dressed in black, like rolling around the floor.
Yeah. No, you didn't. I don't know. You obviously didn't. That's what I do. I don't know if you've heard, but I do dress up in a funny outfit.
Good. And I'm impressed by that.
That's my thing. My videos are terrible, but I come dressed as a full wedding ninja.
Where do you kind of see videography going? Like, do you see it? Because with photography, you'll kind of see the Americans maybe do something first, and it slowly comes over and trends and stuff. Do you kind of see it going like really exciting places and adapting all the time with videography, or what do you kind of think the future will be for that kind of thing?
New gadgets come out all the time in terms of video stuff. So they'll always trickle down into wedding videography. I think a lot of wedding videographers do other jobs as well in the videography world, and then they'll just sort of use those tools and bring them into wedding videography. Personally, I want to just do wedding videos, but at the moment, I do corporate stuff as well. But so there's stuff like drones and
I was going to say drones.
Yeah,
stabilizers. So sort of a gimbal, like a stabilizer, and a drone, which is like a quadricopter, like a little flying thing with a camera on it. I've seen a lot of them over the past 2-3 years being used in wedding videos, usually really badly. But there was a thing about maybe 6 years ago where everyone started using these glide cams, which are these little stabilizing things. So the shots that you'll see are really smooth, steady cam shots, like you'll see at like a football game when the players are walking off the pitch. This is an analogy for the grooms, if there are any grooms listening.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
pitching it to them. So as the players are walking off the pitch, I don't watch football, but when I watch football, well, that's a cool shot. There's a steady cam shot, and you'll see a lot of these types of shots in modern wedding videos, and it's these cams, they're called, or the little handheld stabilizers, and they usually kind of like give you a seasick feeling because they're usually like slightly tilted the wrong way and stuff. But then the new thing is these like motorized versions of that register where the camera is in space and correct it like with motors. So they're like when you use them, and they can be really big. I've used a really big one on a wedding I did a couple of weeks ago, and really intrusive. Or you can get these little handheld ones, which I'm saving up for at the moment. But they're a lot better because they're always straight, and so they don't give you that kind of woozy feeling. But you'll see them used a lot more. They're called gimbals or 3-axis gimbals. And then obviously there's the drone shots. So the thing I like to do is go on YouTube and look at wedding drone fails. And a lot of the time there's this one video which is amazing, where it's like speed, all you can see is just grass just speeding past, and then it kind of tilts up, and you can see that this drone's doing about 30 miles an hour, and there's a couple right there in like a photo pose. You got to look this up after the podcast.
I'm going to.
It just smashes straight into them.
Oh my God.
Amazing. And then you just it's sort of the camera's looking up at the sky, and you just see this guy running with like cargo shorts on.
Oh my God. I would have liked that at my wedding. That would have been good.
just have a bit, spice up a bit. It's like dodging drones.
Being attacked by drones. That would be really good.
You see a lot of drone shots now because more and more people are buying them. And DJI and GoPro have just released 2 really, really good, really cheap ones that are tiny. So you'll see them more at weddings. But I haven't quite seen the point of them yet. A lot of problem with that is that a gadget will come out, and as a videographer, you get really into the gadget, really into the tool, and you're not thinking about what you're using it for. So the reason to use a tool is that you've got a problem, and I haven't quite figured out the problem with my. So what I would use the drone for is an establishing shot, so you can see the venue, and you can see maybe the bride prep venue, but definitely the ceremony venue and the reception venue. That would be really nice to have a really slow moving wide shot of the venue from like that's kind of the only thing I can think of to use it for that would actually have use and bring value to the bride who's going to be watching the video in the end. So yeah, it's probably the same with photography, where as a photographer you get really excited about the latest lens, but then it's like it's ultimately a tool. So you've got to think what the point of it is, and, what value it's bringing to the bride.
Yeah, it's true. You can easily get caught up in like new kind of gadgets and things, can't you? And you don't necessarily need them. I think I've had the same 3 lenses for like the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Because they work, and I know that's all I need. So.
Yeah, and you get used to them as well, so you know exactly.
Yeah, and you improve with them, don't you?
To get good shots in.
Yeah.
I had on my last camera, I had a Canon 24 to 105, and I never took it off the camera. Like I had other lenses, but I didn't really use them. I just used that one lens. Yeah. So I knew it so well. I knew exactly where I needed to stand, like how close I needed to be, and what kind of, how far I needed to be from subjects and stuff.
Yeah, you just get used to what you know, don't you? And how to
the temptation is to just buy more and more cool stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. But yeah, you got to think about the bride, what she wants to see ultimately.
Cool.
Yeah, how to find a videographer? You asked me about that.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a videographer, what are the things you should look at?
That was my answer. I don't know. What kind of things would you look for? So the best way, as I said, is if you can get a word of mouth referral. So if
frozen.
Oh dear.
Let's hold on a second.
Sorry everyone, we're just gonna let the internet catch up.
There we go.
Oh, sorry. Can you start again? We just lost you a little bit.
You just froze.
I'll just repeat myself anyway.
Oh, okay.
But basically, referrals are the best. But if you can't get a referral, if you can't get word of mouth referral from a friend, then I suppose Google is the next best thing. There needs to be I was thinking about this yesterday. There needs to be like a reliable source of like.
Oh, he's gone again.
Where to get a good wedding video for? No, I was just pausing.
Like a directory.
Blogs, yeah, a directory. Yeah. So I'm sure there are them out there, but there's not one like a big one. Blogs are good. Rock My Dress. Rock My Wedding.
Rock My Wedding.
Yeah, Rock My Wedding. Yeah.
And blogs like that, and like I love my dress.
Love My Dress. Yeah.
Love my dress. My granddad. My dress. So blogs like that, they'll put like a case study up of a wedding, won't they? And they'll have the dress, who made the dress, who did the flowers.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they have the wedding video up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good place to find a wedding video for. If you see a wedding that you really like, you think that's going to be a similar theme to yours, similar style, because that's another thing. But that some wedding videographers are more traditional, and that's going to suit a more traditional church, stately home type style wedding. So maybe don't get a boho wedding type guy to do a traditional wedding and the other way around. But yeah, I'd say a blog like that would be a great place to find a wedding videographer. And then it's Google, but with Google, the first few pages are going to be people that are really good at websites and really good at SEO.
Yeah.
So that can be that's another stress for a bride, because it's like, are they really good, or are they just really good at websites? Like that's another thing. Like, so as I say, referral is the best way, but then Google, so I would always recommend a couple of people that I know are really good. So yeah, there's guys like Philip White, Heart Visual.
Is that White Dress? No, that's Richard White, isn't it?
Yeah, Philip White is like amazing, but I think he's like maybe $3,000 or something for a video. Yeah, but I don't really know any videographers, so I usually end up like recommending two, and then I'm like, I honestly don't know if they're that good, because I've never.
I always struggle because I've worked with a few good videographers before, so I kind of recommend them if I'm asked. But I literally have a list of like 2 or 3 people, and that's it.
Can you do that list? Actually?
Yeah, I probably can.
Yeah.
But it's been so difficult, especially to find the type of videographers like what you say you do with the highlight videos. It's not kind of the boring traditional old style videography. They're definitely harder to come across. But I think, like you say, if you just make sure you're watching lots of work and it's the stuff that you like, then you'll start to learn what it is that you're after and go from there.
Yeah.
So
it's a bit tricky, because as a wedding videographer, same with the photographer, you put your best work on your website. So it's like your very best videos. You've done hundreds, but like you've got 3 on your website. So then it's like, oh, are they that good, or they just, you
need to watch as much as you can, don't you?
Yeah.
Eat Films. He's really good. Eat Films is a weird name, but yeah.
Eat Films. I don't know.
Interesting.
Films, yeah.
Well, I think that's been really handy. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot about videography. I'm going to make Russell listen to this episode and see what he thinks.
Yeah.
And so we can go from there. Also, you've been our first male guest, so I hope you'll feel very privileged and happy about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
great.
nice.
I am very male as well. Like, you've gone right to the extreme.
Yeah.
Like, big old horrible hairy beard. Just super alpha.
And just before we finish, do you just want to let everyone know where they can find you online? So if they like the sound of what they've heard today, they can come and find you and book you for their wedding.
So it's tregoningweddings.co.uk, and if you just Google my surname, you'll get all the Instagram and actually the Facebook page never gets updated. It's just the Instagram. So my wife does the Instagram. And it's brilliant. She's really, really good at it. So it's TRE, GON, gone, ING, Tregoning.
Perfect.
It's Cornish, and it means place where people live that is elevated.
Wow.
Tregoningweddings.co.uk. Tregoningweddings.co.uk.
Perfect.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much for your time today and for talking
Thanks
to
so
us.
much for having me on. I really appreciate it. I listened to you. I was on the homepage at iTunes, and it was new and noteworthy, and it was a wedding podcast. I was like, wow, amazing. So I started listening to it. They're British. And then just like, ooh, think of all the free advertising I could get. So I emailed you. You came back. I was like, wow, okay, cool.
No, it's nice to know that that you actually found us. It's good.
Really enjoyed your podcast. It's really, really good.
Cool.
Oh,
it's nice to know
thank you.
someone's listening, so that's good.
Yeah,
It's hard to
just
find a good
talking to each
podcast.
other.
It's hard to find them because even if they're informative, they're usually really annoying. The presenters, there's usually some sort of thing that you find really annoying. But you two are really easy to listen to because, like, I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on people, but like, you're just normal people.
Oh, good.
And you're not like weird or like, I don't know. It's really easy to listen to. You're like talking about a subject, because when you listen to a podcast, you don't just care about the subject you're talking about. You also kind of need to like the presenters and just be able to listen to them while you're live or whatever, like that would do. And if they're just a bit weird, a bit annoying, or there's some sort of ulterior motive, then it's like you can't listen to it. And so I really, really like your podcast because it's informative and you're really easy to listen to because you're really likable.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Thank you. We'll be like, oh,
yeah, appreciate that feedback.
I can't believe we didn't have any technical difficulties.
Not in this recording, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a recording.
Right, well, thank you for joining us then. We'll let you get on with all your editing and everything that you've got.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me on. Really
Lovely to
appreciate
speak to you.
Yeah, you too.
And, have we finished recording?
I'm going to finish recording now.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Bye.
So bye. Thanks for listening to Get Wed.
We hope you enjoyed us babbling on.
And if you did, we'd love for you to let us know.
Head to getwedpodcast.co.uk, hit review and leave your comments.
We hope to see you next time.
Happy
planning!